You have all sorts of different type of projects. You have your YouTube projects. You work in animation. You work on, in the film industry. What's your day like, and how do you find the time? You're doing so many different things. Like, how do you schedule it? How do you do this?
People always look at the output and think that like the person must just be busy running around pulling their hair out all the time. And sometimes that's true. I think in my career and probably everybody else's in this industry, it comes in waves. So sometimes we have periods of time that are just insanity, and other times we've got dead air and we're just trying to cope with our own existence. For me, it's been trying to even out the waves a little bit. I try to find ways that when a lot of work is going on, I'm not overwhelmed. And when nothing's happening, I still have a game plan. The disadvantage of an artistic career is that we don't have the structure that somebody who has like a 9-to-5 would. So I actually think it's pretty important to create some level of structure, routine, and discipline. I focused a lot on my efficiency and making sure that I can be as creative as I can as quickly as possible, that I don't have to spend a lot of time sifting through emails, trying to remember what I had to do this week. I write a lot of lists. I make a lot of calendars. I also think too that there's a large grind culture in the artistic community that's like work all day, every day. If you're sleeping 8 hours, you're doing it wrong. Like, I'm not about that. I do get 8 hours, sometimes more. I take weekends off. I work Monday to Friday to my fiance's schedule. When she leaves, I start working. When she comes back, I usually stop. I wasn't always like that, but I feel much more sustainable that way doing that. And, of course, in a really busy time, that's not always possible, and that's fine. But on the whole, that's what I try to do, and not just do musical stuff. I try to also take walks and solve Rubik's Cubes and stuff.
Well, you got to have a life. You got to have you have to have a life to keep that balance.
It fills the tank. Yeah, exactly. Being creative means being inspired in a lot of ways. And as much as you can, you have to find ways to stay inspired, even when you're in home quarantine. I mean, just finding things that are outside of your art are really important.
Touching on that, how has the quarantine sort of changed your approach or your daily schedule in terms of your output? I know generally you work a lot in your studio anyway. So has it changed that much, or is it kind of been status quo?
Yes, I do think it changed a lot. I was pretty comfortable pre-quarantine being in my studio most of the day, if not all day. Now, there was a point early quarantine where I was like allergic to my studio. I just couldn't go in there. It was like, I was already at home all day. And then the idea of just like walking into the office, which was home, was just like, no, I can't do it. Which is what partially like inspired a lot of like the lifestyle change a little bit. Just like everybody else, I've had to create more separation between the two, work and home. And also, like, it sounds a bit abstract, but I think giving yourself permission to relax is very important, because I found that I wasn't giving myself permission to relax. I kept thinking, well, I have all this extra time, so I guess I should just work more. And that's not a very sustainable way to look at it. As soon as I said, you know what, like, it's a crazy time, just take some time off. As soon as I said that to myself, like 2 days of doing nothing, and I was like, I can't do this, I gotta work. And I was ready to work. So I think it's very important to give yourself permission when you need it to relax or to unwind or to do something different, and not make the assumption that just because you're not doing something artistic means it's not productive. I don't think that's true at all. I think you have to find these ways to sustain yourself, especially during this, where a lot of outlets have been drained from people.